Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well, or at least trying to, and that you're all having a great day. As always, watch out for the comment section. There are a lot of bots there, and they're pretending to be me. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. I was going to make this a very small segment. I was not even going to talk about this at all. But I woke up, I saw that it had become a major issue, so I thought I'd clarify a bunch of things just so that everyone is completely up to date and that everyone has all the information that they need to really understand exactly what has taken place over the last, I was going to say 36 hours. I'll give it a good 48, maybe even 50 hours. At the moment right now, the cryptocurrency market is going down and has been doing so for the last 8, 9, 10 hours or so. It says crypto market tanks over 10%, losing $275 billion in 24 hours. Everything that has taken place could have been avoided, but because of circumstances, there was no way around it. I'm going to give you all the information. I'm going to try as best I can not to go on a rant or to, if you've been here before, you know exactly what I tend to do. Just going to give you all the information. So the cryptocurrency market has been going down for the last couple of days because we have had an indication that Elon Musk, for those of you who do not know, he's been in the cryptocurrency market, give or take, for about a good 2 months. I'm not sure of the exact time frame. He was a champion for Bitcoin. He said he loved Bitcoin. He thought it was amazing. It was incredible. It was going to free the people. It was going to do all these things. And just off of his tweets alone, he was able to raise the price of Bitcoin. He announced that one of his companies had purchased Bitcoin, but apparently that purchase had taken place before because we also had news after that they had purchased $1.5 billion, but after the price rise of Bitcoin, that I think it was around $2.26 billion or somewhere around there. At some point, not really sure exactly when, Elon Musk decided to announce that he liked Dogecoin. He said it was a meme coin. He thought it was amazing. He liked the characteristics of it, which there aren't really any. It's just it's a copy of Bitcoin. Now, everything I'm going to say here, please understand, I have, and I mean this in the most honest, sincerest way, I have no need or desire or want to BS you. Everything I'm saying to you, you can find all of this out. Dogecoin is from 2013. It was one of the original copycat coins of Bitcoin. It was also created as an obvious joke. The photo of it is of a cartoon Shiba Inu dog that is smiling almost a bit like the Mona Lisa, because it's a joke. We know this from the actual creator as well. What happened back then was, the idea was, many other people began to create or realize that they were able to create other cryptocurrencies, and this one was created as a joke, and this is why the inflation rate for it is and continues to be so high. It was the idea that Bitcoin was so scarce, and therefore let's make something that's not scarce at all. So when Elon Musk threw his support behind this coin, everyone was kind of like, well, that's kind of weird. We assumed it was a runoff from the Wall Street bets thing that happened a couple of months ago, where people were betting on GameStop as this kind of underdog thing that was going on, and therefore let's bet on Dogecoin as another underdog, and therefore let's see exactly where it can go. Apparently Elon Musk took this incredibly seriously, began to throw his support behind Dogecoin, and left a lot of people still completely confused, because I'm going to show you some things that also don't make a lot of sense over the last couple of months. And at some point, Elon Musk began to tweet about Bitcoin's energy consumption, which we are also going to get into. I assume at some point, I always say this, I think the internet is amazing simply because of all the information that it provides. Don't mean that as a joke. You can find anything you want on the internet. You don't even have to look that hard. It's usually right at the actual surface of it. So Elon Musk began to talk about how Bitcoin uses so much electricity, Bitcoin uses so much so-and-so, Bitcoin uses blah, 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 blah. And a lot of the very first people were like, okay, then what's the solution? How do we actually fix this? And he's like, Dogecoin. And everyone's like, well, you know that Dogecoin is also proof of work. For those of you who do not know what proof of work is when you've seen those videos of people mining Bitcoin and they have thousands of computers. You do the exact same thing, or you would be doing the exact same thing for Dogecoin if Dogecoin had the popularity of Bitcoin. It is also going to be energy intensive. It is also going to need tons of computers, hardware, etc., etc. It is basically the exact same thing. It is a proof of work system. So people began to fire back, if you will, at Elon Musk, basically saying, hey, what you're talking about is absolute nonsense, because we know that a lot of the energy consumption from Bitcoin is actually renewable. And he continued head forward, basically saying, no, Dogecoin is a lot better. I don't have the exact article right here. Maybe it's somewhere inside here. No, where he basically began to announce Dogecoin will be the better pick If we had the block size on 1000x where it currently is, if we made the hash rate 1000x where it currently is, if we made transaction speeds 1000x where they currently are, a lot of people, if you've been into Bitcoin for a while or any other cryptocurrency, if you've been here for longer than 5 years, you understand why this is a joke. It's because this is kind of the long-standing game in the cryptocurrency space. Everyone continues making new coins, claiming that they can actually do this with their coin, but we've seen before in the past that the only time that you can actually do all these things on the drop of a dime is either with complete network consensus, because this is how it works in a proof of work decentralized system. You need the vast majority of people who are mining the coin on the network to give the thumbs up at the exact same time. And also at the other time, these systems kind of collapse if you give them too much at the exact same time. It's kind of like, I don't know, just imagine like a balloon and you're trying to put 1,000 rocks inside of it kind of thing. So everyone was like, we can definitely talk about this and, not even in private, but just so I can give you the entire information and I don't have to tell you everything over Twitter. However, Elon Musk was not having any of it, especially last night, and began to basically, now I have my own opinions on this. He began to act quite particular on social media, basically throwing a slight tantrum, if you will, because a lot of people were no longer kissing his boots. That is the nicest way of saying it. I have a lot of it here, so don't think that I'm joking around. Now, over the course of the next couple of hours, what basically happened or transpired is exactly the situation that we're currently in right now. Someone's Twitter handle by the name of Mr. Whale, for those of you not looking at the screen, it is at Crypto Whale on Twitter. He said Bitcoiners are going to slap themselves next quarter when they find out Tesla dumped the rest of their Bitcoin holdings. With the amount of hate Elon Musk is getting, I wouldn't blame him. To which Elon Musk replied, indeed. Part of the issue is that it's not that Elon Musk I can't honestly say that he's not receiving hate, but a lot of it is quite fishy as to exactly what's going on within the cryptocurrency market. A lot of people have speculated and assumed. I do not know if this is true. I can only assumption based off of what the rest of the internet has been saying, that he's been doing a lot of this just to make himself richer. We can, I guess, on some level see that as he is one of the richest people on the planet. A lot of people think that he's doing this as a game almost, because he pumps markets just with tweets. And I guess knowing that you have that amount of power can be intoxicating. Not really sure. So the other issues were that a lot of the major players within the cryptocurrency space began to come forward, basically saying, hey, Elon, you're having this discussion. Let's join it as well. We want to let you know exactly what's been going on so that we can basically trying to inform him, hey, you're not completely correct in everything that you're saying. And he did not care for that. He did not care for people telling him openly in public, you're incorrect. Now, here's where it gets a little weird, and we went over this a little bit a couple of days ago, because the entire news is, and a lot of people seem to not really understand where all of this is going. A couple of days ago, so a lot of the people who are, and I mean these people are very, 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 very new to the cryptocurrency market. These people drop their coins on a dime because they have read something. These people who are, for some reason, now thinking that Dogecoin is going to be the greatest thing in the entire world, I'm going to tell you something just absolutely explicitly. I would like for you to learn economics. I'm not making a joke. I'm not trying to be rude. I'm not trying to be condescending. I mean just actual numbers. The amount of people who I've been having, like personal friends and family members who've been contacting me in some sort of way or another about Dogecoin is cool. I like when people are able to get into a new form of finance, especially if it's cryptocurrencies. I don't care for them getting into Doge, but alas, as long as they are able to get into some type of market, that's cool. But they're getting into the Dogecoin market under the premise that Dogecoin at some point is going to be $5,000 per coin. I've had a lot of people tell me and imply to me that their cousin told them, not joking, that Dogecoin at some point is going to be worth the value of a Bitcoin. And they were saying that around $50,000. That would give Dogecoin's market cap, it would be $48 quadrillion. That's nearly all the actual circulating that we have on this planet, plus the M2 money supply, and plus other money supplies, stocks, bonds, other forms of debt. That is, it's impossible for that to happen. Dogecoin has nothing actually going for it other than Elon Musk's hype and also the hype of Wall Street bets. A lot of people say, well, you sound like a Bitcoin maximalist. You sound like you have no idea what you're talking about. No, I actually do know exactly, almost cursed, exactly what I'm talking about. I've been in this space for a very long time. I've seen thousands of Bitcoin copies completely come and go. I've seen things that have risen over the course of a couple of years, and people kept on saying that's going to be the next Bitcoin. There is no other Bitcoin. There is only one Bitcoin. This coin is a joke. It could at some point, I've mentioned in other videos, I think at some point Dogecoin, especially with this momentum, will eventually hit $1. I could even see it hitting $10 sometime in the distant future, where the cryptocurrency market has a $250 trillion market cap. That seems completely believable, but you have to understand that that's not how money works, and it's not simply because someone told you that this coin is going to hit a certain number that it's actually going to hit there. Many of you may remember many years ago, I was a huge advocate for XRP. I thought it was absolutely amazing. I love the idea of the exclusivity, or the inclusivity, if you will, of the market and people being able to get into it and the transaction speed and all that other stuff. Well, you may have noticed, surprise, I began to slink away from the community the moment that people kept on saying that XRP was going to hit $589 per coin at the end of 2017. These things are ridiculous. It's just history repeating itself, and I mentioned this many other times before over the course of my other videos. I apologize if I'm talking too fast. It's just so many things going on, and I need to say all of it right now because a lot of times I shy away from it. I try not to get into the fisticuffs of it all and try to, I don't mean to put people down, but people really need to understand that that's not how this space is going to work. There is no point ever at all in the future where Dogecoin is going to become the #1 coin. There is no realistic point where Dogecoin is going to have a multi-quadrillion dollar market cap. That would mean that we would have to go to other planets, find other species, take their currency and put that money onto our planet, because Bitcoin and Ethereum are still also going to be around, as is Binance Coin, as is Litecoin, as is XRP. And one can only assume if Dogecoin has a $48 quadrillion market cap, Bitcoin has a $100 quintillion market cap. Just an assumption. So the other really weird part is that Elon Musk a couple of days ago kept on announcing how he was working with Dogecoin developers, how Dogecoin was going to be the future, Dogecoin was going to be this, Dogecoin needed to be so-and-so. And it just, I mean, there's so many things to dissect here because it's almost like watching an episode of The Twilight Zone, and it's actually kind of weird. So after announcing that he had been working with Dogecoin developers, the price of Dogecoin would logically begin to spike. Everyone's like, okay, this is it. We're going to have amazing things. I even made a video. I was like, that's absolutely incredible. If this actually turns out to be real, we could probably see a $10 Dogecoin simply for the fact that Doge has no development on it. There's no one working on Doge. Doge has a very high inflation rate. If Dogecoin's inflation rate goes down to 1% of where it is right now, if we actually have developers and NFTs and all this other stuff on top of it, and Elon Musk has been talking with these people, well, gosh darn it, there we actually go. What ended up happening was one of the lead developers for Dogecoin is there's a new group of people who are like, fine, we'll start making sure that the network is safe and robust. They came forward and said, no, he's never contacted us. And I was like, doesn't anyone else think that that's actually kind of weird, that the news all over the place is that Elon Musk is working with Dogecoin developers, and the Dogecoin developers are saying this man has never contacted us? There was news that he had been contacting these people since 2019. And the developers were like, that's a lie. We have never spoken to this man before. So also on top of this as well, now, I'm once again, I'm just giving you all the news as it came out in sequence, in order. The other really big thing, and I hope we can squash this right now. I assumed, and I do this quite often. You may have realized on the channel. I usually make a video a day, and I tend to, sometimes things happen in the cryptocurrency space, and I kind of let other people report on it because I simply assume that other people would have been able to find this information. Maybe not, maybe whatever. I make videos every single day, sometimes twice a day, sometimes thrice a day. It depends on the wind. It depends on if I'm bored or if there's a lot of news in the cryptocurrency space. One of the really big things that's kind of been floating around, and this is once again another mimic of 2017 because people never actually change. You may be reading this on the screen as well. It says a hard pill for Bitcoin maximalists. People love to throw this around because these people are usually interesting. I'm going to choose my words correctly. A lot of people think that it's explicitly easy to say something wrong or negative about a coin and that other people will simply follow them. And most of the time they're actually right. So I'm here to right those stupidity wrongs, if I can say the word stupidity, just to kind of bring this all into perspective. We know that Bitcoin is highly energy consuming. This is not brand new. Do you remember, for those of you who were here around 2017, where one of the biggest things that kept on floating around was Bitcoin's slow transaction speeds? That was a very big thing. People kept on coming forward and saying, well, Bitcoin only does 3 transactions per second. Ethereum does 15 and XRP does 900 million per thousand per second. And everyone's like, woo, that's crazy. I can't believe it does that much. And I was like, well, people who are into Bitcoin, we know that it's slow. This is why we have other layers. The entire idea is to leave the core alone. The core is worth billions, and now it should be, if the market was back up, $1 trillion. And in order to protect it, you build around it. You make sure that you don't touch it. And this is how you contain the integrity of the entire network to make sure that everything is robust and continues running at proper speed, because we have other layers which can also then still do millions of transactions per second. And this is why we have the Lightning Network. So this year, it seems to be that Bitcoin uses a lot of electricity, which we've also known for a very long time. This is just a brand new thing to many people in the cryptocurrency space because they've been kissing Elon Musk's toe hairs for so long that this is completely brand new to them. I didn't know that. I loved Bitcoin. And no, you didn't love Bitcoin. You have no idea what Bitcoin is. You have no idea what anything is in finance. Someone told you about this space 7 years ago, and you decided to get into it 4.5 months ago because you saw that other people were making money. You were not making money. You decided to rush headfirst into it. You got into it. Someone told you to buy Bitcoin. You realize you couldn't buy an entire Bitcoin when you would have been able to 7 years ago. So you decided to get into a bunch of other altcoins, and you bought into Dogecoin. Dogecoin's price began to go up because Elon Musk made it go up. And now you love Elon Musk. And the fact that he's also crashing the price of Dogecoin right now makes you a little angry. So the hard pill for Bitcoin maximalists is that Bitcoin uses an enormous amount of electricity. Once again, we've known this for a very long time, and we've been working on this for a very long time. If you've watched more than 100 of my videos, especially over the course of the last couple of years, you at some point have seen some type of a news story where we've discussed this or gone over this. I'm just going to show you the actual articles just so we can get past this entire point. It says Chinese city known for Bitcoin mining seeks blockchain firms to burn excess hydropower. This is a very big thing. A lot of the cryptocurrency, a lot of the cryptocurrency proof of work mining space, and even more so for Bitcoin, uses renewable electricity. Why? Because it's cheaper for them. Bitcoin mining takes a lot of electricity, and to avoid having these gigantic mining fees and electricity usage and stuff like that, we've had news for a very long time that these companies tend to go to governments first, and they say, hey, where's your cheapest electricity? And they tend to go to the coldest regions where no one else is. So they're not taking up land for anyone else, because that used to also be an argument as well. Well, they're taking up excess land for people. No, they're usually like in the tundra, or they're in Alaska, or they're in parts where no one else even wants to live. And they find where wind power is, or usually the most used is hydroelectricity. We've known about this since around 2018 because we knew that Bitcoin's energy consumption was quite high. And they've been working towards this more and more and more because it's also it's easier for them. If you plan on mining Bitcoin for the next 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years, you need to find some source of renewable energy, especially for yourself. A lot of you may remember as well when we were having the discussion of solar panels being put on top of, I believe it was Bitmain's trucks, warehouse, whatever they're actually using to be able to save money on electricity. So it's also beneficial for them, also beneficial for the planet, because we know that it's an issue. On top of that, it says big hydropower partners with Bitcoin miners to prevent energy waste. This is an article from 2019. We've known for a very long time, once again, that Bitcoin uses a lot of electricity, and we're working on it. That's just exactly how it is. How Texas's wind boom has spawned a Bitcoin mining rush. This is from 2020. We had news in 2018 and 2019 that there were people who were planning on making in Nevada a Bitcoin blockchain city, if you will. And in somewhere in Texas, a lot of people were quite annoyed with the fact that China has a huge amount of the mining capabilities for Bitcoin. And therefore, there were a lot of Americans who were like, hey, we're going to make sure that moves to our borders. And one of the first places that they ended up going to was Texas. And then they ended up going to Alaska. Alaska because it's very cold. It allows them to cool down the machines because they get very hot because they're running all the time. And Texas, because Texas now has a lot of wind-powered gigantic fans in the fields and stuff like that, and they have their own energy grid, etc., etc., etc. So here's an actual, and I'm very glad that I found this as well. Someone made a pretty little photo thing of the actual energy consumption of normal everyday things that we go over, and also Bitcoin as well. Now here's Disney World, there's Facebook, there's Google, there's Ford, little car, for Ford, got it. There's Bangladesh, there's Norway, and there's Bitcoin right next to it. It says if Bitcoin was a country, it would rank 29th out of a theoretical 196. I'm not going to even talk about why it's a theoretical 196, but that's for another video entirely. We had news many years ago that Bitcoin's energy consumption was that of entire countries, and this was usually one of the things that governments would throw at us as a way to deter people from getting into the cryptocurrency space, especially the Bitcoin space, because they would say, well, if you care so much about the environment, why aren't you caring about Bitcoin's energy consumption? It's using more than an entire country. The other really crazy part is that the government leaders who were telling us this never mentioned, hey, we are also going to be working on making sure that everyone drives an electric car, or that we cut down on fossil fuels, or that we're not using so much nuclear energy, or that we're going to have wind-powered machines, or that we're going to have solar power panels on every single apartment inside of our city. It was always left down to the people who were in an industry that they did not want to exist. This is why we have so much hate in other people. You need to always dig deeper. It's never at actual surface level. Why is there so much hate against this industry that's trying to make renewable energy a very big thing? Because governments don't want renewable energy because it doesn't really profit them. Why do governments hate Bitcoin so much? Because they don't create Bitcoin. They don't control Bitcoin. It's always deeper. It's always just about money. Here's the state of New York, which is bigger than Bitcoin. Absolutely wonderful. And here's the world's data centers. Absolutely incredible. Visualization of the power consumption of Bitcoin mining. Why does Bitcoin mining require so much power? Because it's using all those machines. You need a lot of them. That's how the network actually works. Here's putting Bitcoin's power consumption into perspective. I'm sliding by this because you can read it if you so wish. Here's the actual thing right here. In a 2020 report by the University of Cambridge, researchers found that 76% of crypto miners rely on some degree of renewable energy to power their operations. Wow, that's a pretty huge number. There's still room for improvement, though, as renewables account for only 39% of crypto mining's total energy consumption. And here's the actual thing right here with the percentages. It even says it around here. The numbers are not meant to add up to 100. They're based on other metrics. Hydroelectric is 65% in Asia, in Europe, in Latin America, and North America. You got natural gas. You have coal, which is also, and I believe it says it in the actual other thing right here. It says hydroelectric energy is the most common, and I'm showing you this because, once again, I thought that other people would find it, and we would not be having this discussion because I'm tired of having these stupid discussions in the cryptocurrency space about things that other people can find, about things that we've gotten news about before. And for some reason, whenever some rich person comes out and says, well, that's not right, that's using a lot of electricity, and I go, no, we've gone over that before in other videos. I don't understand how people don't remember. Once again, I'm not assuming that other people or that everyone is watching my cryptocurrency channel. It would be nice. However, just completely, I go over the news. I try to go over facts as much as possible. I do actually research what I'm giving you as well, so that you're just not simply looking at some type of nonsensical news. But yes, hydroelectric energy is the most common source globally, and it gets used by at least 60% of crypto miners across all 4 regions. Other types of clean energy are wind, solar, appear to be less popular. Coal energy plays a significant role in the Asia Pacific region and was the only source to match hydroelectricity in terms of usage. This is largely attributed to China, which is currently the world's largest consumer of coal. So if you want to back it up even a little bit more, it appears that Elon Musk's entire problem with Bitcoin mining is China. And I have a strange feeling, this is an assumption, that Elon Musk also knows this. I mentioned that before. I have a very strange feeling that Tesla, as a very large, I would assume, intelligently backed company with intelligent people inside of it. Probably did not invest $1.5 billion in Bitcoin because we have extra money. Let's just throw it into Bitcoin. I assume all the stuff that's actually happening is also coordinated in some sort of way, but that's also just my little tinfoil hat moment. And I assume based off of actual metrics, they probably also know that the largest consumer of the non-renewable energy source for mining Bitcoin is China. But for some reason, the other 195 countries are the ones to blame and are the ones being put down and are the reasons for Elon Musk talking about selling his Bitcoin or getting rid of Bitcoin. Wouldn't it just make more sense? Now, here's logic. If you know that you don't control what happens inside of China's borders, wouldn't it just make more sense to say, hey, I think Bitcoin is a great creation. I would love to continue being inside of the space. Let me make sure that all the people who are already mining simply move over to further energy renewable sources when they're mining it. Since we can't offset that, let's make our own offset space kind of thing. Doesn't that make a little bit more sense? I feel like all this is coordinated. I feel like, and please, and I mean, if nothing else, share this with other people just so we can get past this entire discussion, because I'm tired of people saying the same things over and over and over, thinking that they're saying something intelligent where Bitcoin uses a lot of electricity. Yeah, that's cool. So do many other things. So do many other things that we probably shouldn't also be doing that I'm not going to even be talking about in this video. How many times people leave on their TVs, leave on their lights in their bathroom or other parts of their house when they're not even inside of the house. These things also all add up, and that's a huge amount of electricity that's also being consumed. So anyway, here's the actual, what is this one right here? This article is from Money Week. It's called Bitcoin Does Consume a Lot of Electricity. The Bitcoin mining process by which Bitcoin are produced and network maintained does consume extraordinary amounts of electricity. Research by Digiconomist shows energy consumption at 77 terawatts per hour, the comparable to the total consumption of the Netherlands. As a result, Bitcoin mining operations were cheap. Iceland, whatever, you can read it on the screen. The point to be made is that, yes, we know that Bitcoin uses a lot of electricity. I know that's the 15th time I've said that in this video. The people who are actively mining Bitcoin have made sure years ago that they go to places that are very cold, so that they can get renewable energy sources that no one else is using in that region. Is usually hydroelectric or wind powered. It tends to not be solar powered because if they're in the north and Nordic regions, they usually don't have as much sun. And therefore, even though they're getting UV when the clouds are actually there from their solar panels, it doesn't really add up to the same exact way that hydroelectricity actually would. And we know that a huge portion of the actual bad energy usage is coming from China, but we can't control that. Is everyone good? Does everyone understand now? Yes, we understand that proof of stake is explicitly better. It uses almost no electricity, just with the, what's on your computer. However, that's not the way that the industry is moving. We are going to eventually have a point where we are 98% energy renewable, at least in 195 other countries for Bitcoin. And I'm sure someone's still going to be having this discussion about China. We can't do anything about it. It's their country. So anyway, here's the actual article, or the PDF, if you will, from Cambridge University. It is called The Third Global Crypto Asset Benchmarking Study, where they go over, I think you can see the actual table of contents. They talk about all this stuff. Industry growth indicators, mining, the backbone of the industry, the off-chain story. It's 70-something pages. I'm not scrolling through this entire thing. It's more so that you can see that, yes, they are going through all these things. So if it really makes you happy in some sort of way, they've also partnered in some sort of way with all these cryptocurrency companies, I assume, to get information from them so that they can have an explicit amount of information. So they're simply not just writing whatever they actually want, which is something that I always find quite interesting, because people just assume that these people put out these information pamphlets without actually having done any information or research themselves. Everyone in crypto knows all these things. It's people who are brand new to cryptocurrencies who usually have no idea what's happening. And this is why the cryptocurrency market ends up suffering, because you're so busy trying to make a very quick profit, not understanding that the US dollar is collapsing right in front of your face. We are seeing inflation happening right before our very eyes. Banks are buying up Bitcoin. They're buying up cryptocurrency assets. People are locking away their Bitcoin in mountains and in caves. That is not a joke. This is actually happening. We have news every single day that the richest companies are buying up all the Bitcoin, but you care about Dogecoin and these other coins because Elon Musk told you to do so. It's exhausting. Every single day, this space is it's so immature is not even the word. It's something below immaturity. It's this kind of like this feral, like gang kind of thing where people believe that if I told you that the sky was blue and the person next to you said, it looks like it's a light mauve, and you go, the sky is mauve, and you find other people to also believe that it's mauve, and you just go against complete logic every single day. Like the entire Elon Musk thing, I told you all that months ago. I was like, this entire Elon Musk thing is very, very weird. I was like, well, that's cool that he loves Dogecoin, but let's continue on, trying to change the world and making sure that people actually accumulate Satoshis. Because anyway, so that's all that news. And to finish things off, just to give you the last bit that happened in the entire chain of events, there's a guy named Peter McCormick. Peter McCormick is the head of the podcast called What Bitcoin Did. He's very well known, incredibly popular. He knows everybody in the industry, what have you. Basically, what happened is he decided to tweet basically towards Elon Musk. It was like 25 tweets, if you will. I think it was even 27, where he's basically like, dude, stop it. Like, we know that you're trolling everyone explicitly. I told you this before. I have a very strange feeling that if I just found all that information that I just showed you on the internet in about 35 minutes, I assume if Elon Musk has been in the cryptocurrency space since 2017, his metrics are probably a lot prettier and probably a lot more advanced in mind. So he knows that all this stuff is actually going on. A lot of people think that he is trolling, air quotes, if you will, the cryptocurrency space. He's trying to do it as a little project to see if he can move markets just by simply tweeting, and it has completely worked. But part of the issue is, now here is the side of people who believe that the cryptocurrency space will eventually be very popular, and even more so that Bitcoin stands a very strong chance of actually being a recognized world currency, is that other people who would have the opportunity to now be able to get into Bitcoin, or even start understanding what Satoshis are and stacking those sats, if you will, a little air quote there, is that they're now being misplaced. They're being pushed in other directions. And this is why we have people buying hot dog coin and sushi and pancake and thinking that Ethereum Classic is going to make a comeback, or that XRP Gold is going to be a real thing, or putting their money into these other things. It's distracting people from really understanding exactly what's taking. And once again, I assume that all the rich people on the planet, as they've been collecting Bitcoin, know that the US dollar is set for collapse. So instead of taking time to educate, really letting people understand what's happening with the world economy and telling them, hey, this may be the best substitute. You don't give them a cryptocurrency called Dogecoin that is roughly inflating more than the US dollar, or on par with it if you want to look at the actual numbers. So here's the actual thing right here from Peter McCormick. It was a very long tweet storm, if you will. You can read it for yourself. It goes on. I read all of it. And I don't disagree with him. I have a friend of mine who disagreed because he thought that Elon Musk should be able to say what he wants, when he wants, how he wants. And that's great. That's absolutely wonderful. But you have to understand that he's messing with people's money. Yeah. If you know how life works, there's one thing you do not do, and that's mess with people's money. He's bringing down the entire cryptocurrency market, and it means nothing to him. This man is wealthy. And I don't mean he's rich. I don't mean he's hyper rich or super rich. I mean he is hundreds of billions of dollars wealthy, and the cryptocurrency market means absolutely nothing to him. However, there are a lot of people who are making pretty good money in the market as the market goes up. They put a couple $100 into a coin, and these coins are being obliterated simply because Elon Musk was having a bit of a tantrum online. So it continues on all the way. I think it goes to number 25. He talks about the energy consumption, why we've been using the Lightning Network, how much better it is. Because one of the other things was talked about, I think by Elon Musk or someone else, I'm not really sure and don't care at this point, was how Bitcoin can't be used for a cup of coffee. But it can. It actually can. This is why we have the Lightning Network. Peter McCormick, I think right now is in El Salvador. He's somewhere. And he said that that entire country has adopted the Lightning Network, and he's seen people actually going to buy things that cost $1.50 and their transaction fee is less than 1 cent because they are using the Lightning Network. And then he says, yeah, after all that, he says this is what his DMs look like. I'm not going to read it out loud. It's very sad because all these people, I'm certain, are hyped because they've made money off of Dogecoin because of the stuff that Elon Musk has said. It's been no actual advancements. There's no new technology. There's no new updates. There's no new upgrades. It's just what Elon Musk has said. Yeah. And then it says, Elon Musk said, and I do quote, obnoxious threads like this make me want to go all in on Doge. So that's why the market is dropping. I thought I'd give this to all of you so you have the entire sequence of events, because I know that when people wake up, they usually go, why is the market in red? I've had 4 text messages from friends already asking me, hey, what's going on? This is not a thing. This is not... And I know most of you have even left this video, but for those of you who are still here, I assume 40% of you are sucking your teeth or rolling your eyes because for some part of you really desperately wants to believe that because you missed out on buying Bitcoin when it was a lot cheaper, that Dogecoin is going to be this brand new thing for you to have. So anyway, that's all the news. I hope you absorbed it. I hope you got all of it. Here are the prices. Bitcoin dropped down to $40,000. And we since have recovered. I think we are in early trading sessions for Asia. North America and most of Europe still has not awoken. So who knows exactly where prices are going to go. Yeah, I do hope you all enjoyed. I do hope that you all are having a great day, a great morning, a great afternoon, a great evening, wherever you are. Wherever you might be, I do hope that it is absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching and or listening. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.